What's happening, everybody? Todd Tanner. This is Russell Take. Earlier in part one of this story, I was talking about Damar Hamlin, who is in critical condition after suffering cardiac arrest while playing against the Bengals. Now, let me give you part two of this story as I continue here, and let us continue to keep our brother in prayer. His thoughts and his family should be within our prayers. And I'm going to pick the story up from where I think I left off. Maybe some repeating to an extent, but it's okay. So, how did it all happen? The injury took place after Hamlin tackled Higgins following the star Bengals' wide out reception over the middle near midfield. Higgins led with his right shoulder and hit Hamlin in the chest. Hamlin quickly got up afterward, was on his feet for about 3 seconds, and then abruptly collapsed. Athletic trainers came out to help immediately, and a stretcher then was brought to the field as the trainers protected his head. The entire Bills sideline surrounded Hamlin as he received care. Multiple Bills players were visibly distressed and comforting one another as he was being cared for by athletic trainers. Many players turned away from watching Hamlin in distress. The first attempt to move Hamlin resulted in him being brought back down onto the field, but he was ultimately placed into an ambulance, which left the stadium at about 9:25 p.m. and headed to the University of Cincinnati Medical Center. Hamlin's family came down from the stands to be with him in the ambulance after Hamlin exited the field. Bills players knelt together in a circle and then returned to the sideline, with the defense heading back onto the field to resume play. Buffalo wide receiver Stefon Diggs called everyone over for a word. However, instead of resuming play, Bengals coach Zach Taylor walked over to Bills counterpart Sean Dermott, and met with the game officials present. The decision was then made to temporarily pause the game, which the Bills were leading 7-2 before the league ultimately chose to postpone it. What was most important was that it wasn't about proceeding with the game. NFL Executive Vice President of Football Operations Troy Vincent said during the conference call, "Frankly, that aspect never crossed my mind or their mind internally. We asked that Sean communicate with both Taylor and Coach McDermott getting the players together. Frankly, it was just about getting a pulse of where they were at that particular time." Vincent said that there was not a discussion between him and Commissioner Roger Goodell about a 5-minute period for players to get warmed up, and that resuming play did not cross their minds. The National Football League Players Association and everyone in our community is praying for Damar Hamlin, the union said in a statement. "We have been in touch with Bills and Bengals players and with the NFL. The only thing that matters at this moment is Damar's health and well-being." Diggs and Taylor were among those who went to the hospital later Monday night, while some fans gathered outside it as well. Meanwhile, reaction came from across the sports world on social media, with Stars quarterback Josh Allen among those asking for prayers, and Higgins sending his own to Hamlin and his family. I'll keep you updated on any recent developments that will come forward throughout the day. I'm Todd Tanner.